Black Keys made a hit.
Hey.
Does it burn when it go down a little bit?
Tastes so good.
Like right here? Who are you?
Oh, well, welcome everybody. My name is Afi.
I am Slim. And we are the Franks. And welcome to another episode of Let's Be Frank. Well, we will walk you through our spiritual and financial journey.
Absolutely.
You got anything to say to the people, babe?
I just want to say Happy New Year. First of all, it's a new year.
It is a new year.
2024. So we hope everybody had a great holiday season. Happy New Year. I know we did. We're looking forward to 2024.
Yeah, we are. And we hope you guys have already written down those goals and budgets for 2024. We are not repeating the same old habits we did in 2023.
That's right.
We are trying to move forward. So, with that being said, we are going to give you guys a quick recap. We are now at episode 5. Can't believe it's been 5 episodes already.
Baby.
I mean, it ain't that much, but still,
But
it just kind of feels like, you know, we're making progress.
And you know what? We have received some really, really great feedback.
Thank you guys
We really
for sure.
appreciate you all following us. Keep your comments coming, keep your feedback coming, sending us DMs, right? Texting us, just being super supportive. And so we are just so grateful to be on this platform, to have the opportunity to share with you all kind of our journey again. And, just keep them coming. So
really nice. Oh, really quick, just a nice sweatshirt. You just get this?
Hey, we got new sweatshirts.
What does it say? What does it say?
Oh, it says paid off mortgage.
You paid your mortgage off?
I did. Did you?
I think I did. You got to show me how you did it, though. Okay, what else? So, really quick, we're going to get into a quick little recap. So, we've talked about relationship with money during episode 1, and that was the basics of money management. Episode 2, we had the mother interview that Afi interviewed her mom. You want to say anything more about that?
You know what? It was cool. Like, it was so fun to have my mom. First of all, she was in town here in Houston. She's visiting from Philadelphia. And then she actually wanted to do the interview. Like, she asked, can I talk about it? Can I do it?
Yeah.
So that was super cool. And I think what I took away from it is that, my mother being, from a older generation and being open to having that kind of conversation, being so transparent and authentic, right? I mean, she didn't make no apologies, as you all saw. She was just like, nope, I did this and he did that.
Raw and uncut.
What I mean? So,
raw and uncut.
And I think that's impressive to me. We've always had a great, relationship and talking about just whatever. But when it comes to finances, you know what I'm saying? Like, she did it her way, and that's how she did it, and I have learned a lot, of how to do things, maybe how not to do some things, and just learning how to do things better. But it was awesome. I got great feedback. People were super, excited to see my mom and just her experiences and just sharing her opinions. So.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. It was a really good interview, too. So if you guys didn't see that already, please go back and check that out. Yeah. So for episode 3, we discussed some of the 7 baby steps. And so we're not going to go through all 7 baby steps because we really want you guys to focus in on the first 3. And so that first baby step was to save $1,000 as an emergency fund. And the reason why we do that is because in the event, let's say you have a flat tire, you break a window, you break an axle on your car. We don't want you using those credit cards. We want you to be able to go into that emergency fund so we can stay away from that credit card debt. Okay. And then step 2 would be to list your debts from smallest to largest. And then step 3 would be to save 3 to 6 months of your emergency for your expenses. And so we'll kind of always hit those key points every time we have a new episode. And as we progress, we'll kind of dive a little deeper every single time, okay? And so let me see where we're at now. And so before we go any further, we really want to kind of recap on what our goals are, why are we doing this. We just don't want to be sitting in front of a camera, having you guys come in, make the comments or whatever. We want to always kind of reiterate, why are we doing this? And so, babe, why are we doing this? What are some of our goals?
So our goals are, so first is to connect listeners to their money. 2 is be willing to talk about money. 3, know the basics of money management. And then 4 is to plant seeds of financial behavior and hopefully instill some change in the behavior that you used to do and now you want to do.
So what does that mean when you say behavioral change in my money? What are we talking about?
So behavioral change really means thinking about your money very differently. And we're actually going to talk about that. We'll dig a little deeper with that as well. But when you start to change your behavior with money is when you start to see some change, right? You'll start to see your debt decrease essentially is what that means.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so any questions for the audience? You want them to talk or say anything?
So we want to know your money story, right? We want to know what were you, when you grew up, right? What were some of the messages that you received maybe from your family, right? From your friends. It could be your relatives, anybody. And just kind of we want you to share that with us. So in those comments below, please start putting that in those comments. And we do see your comments. We read them. We talk about them, right? We maybe laugh, we chuckle a little bit. So we really want to know what was the messaging that you received about money? And again, your messaging can come from friends, family, any relatives. Even now, if you have a spouse, right? What is the messaging that you're receiving? Heck, it could even be from your boss. I don't know. Sometimes people have that relationship with their bosses and their coworkers, and they talk about it, right? So I know I do. I know we have those conversations at my job, and I don't know how we get on the conversation, but we do. We talk about it, right? So start to share that with us and share that with each other as you all comment on and make comments within our chat there. We hope that you all start talking with each other. Some of you all may see that some people have the same comment or the same experience. So this is really an open dialogue that we really want to start to filter.
Right, that's good. No, that's good. And so now what we want to do is we want to kind of be as transparent as possible about some of the debts that we had during 2018. Because remember I told you we started this journey back in December 2018. And so just kind of want to highlight some of the things that we had and then what we looked like in January 2019. And so the first bill that we had a Southwest bill. I think it was $577.08. We had a furniture bill was $11.50. We had a Best Buy bill of $2,100. We had a water and power bill from a property that we had of $3,075. Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
School loan, $10,511. I think that was mine.
That was yours.
Okay. Fed loan,
that was yours.
It was mine too, Jesus. $66,560.27. So that's December 2018. So now we're in January 2019. Let's see if we made any progress with some of this debt. So initially I told you Southwest was $577.08. So now we're at $371.18 for Southwest. So a little bit of a dent.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yep.
Now the furniture bill was $11.50, and now it is $0. We paid it off.
We paid
Girl,
off.
good job. Now I tell you, now you got on my nerves trying to pay that thing off. Now I'm gonna tell you. Now I'm gonna tell you why she got on my nerves. Now she's sitting here looking cute, but this thing got on my nerves. I'm gonna tell you why in 2 seconds.
But he wanted the bed. Like it wasn't even me.
I did not want the bed. We could have slept in the guest room. I said this on the last episode. What is it about when you get into a new house or you're doing a remodel? We always feel like I need new furniture. We could have slept on the old bed. What is that about? Please put that in the comments. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, no,
what you gonna say? What you gonna say?
This man had a whole friend that worked at the furniture store, and not the mattress. The mattress, remember? It was all about the mattress. I can get a new mattress. We can get a new
mattress and bed set.
But we had to buy both.
Why we needed both?
Because you wanted it.
You could have slept on the box spring. No, you can. Okay, maybe not slept on the box spring, but whatever.
Well, whatever.
Point is, we could have waited. Okay, let's just keep going. Okay, because we don't want to be arguing from the people just yet, but we're going to argue.
We're going to argue.
Okay. So that's the furniture bill. So that's $0. We have paid that thing off, okay? And in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how we did it, okay? So Best Buy was $2,100. Now the Best Buy bill is $1,450. So that's $1,450. Water and power, $375. It's now $29.95. Let me see. We have some interruption in the back. I'm just going to keep talking. That's my crazy dog. He wants to get out. I'm about to yell at him in 2 seconds. Shut up, Deacon. So that's the water bill. School loan was $10,511. It's now $10,500. We didn't pay much on the school loan. Fed loan we hadn't touched yet because we haven't gotten into. Yeah, go take it, baby. So we haven't gotten into the Fed loan yet. So and the reason being is because what we're going to get into now is the actual debt snowball, right? And so what I want to actually explain to you guys is, first I want to give you an example of how this thing looks. And so what they tell you is you want to line all your debts up from smallest to largest, okay? And so let me give you a quick example. So for example, let's say if you have a medical bill of $500, right? This would be a good example. $500, and let's say you pay $50 a month, right? The next bill, let's say $2,500 for a credit card. Okay, your payment is $63 a month. Okay, $7,000 car loan, you're going to pay $135 a month. $10,000 student loan, you're paying $96 a month. Now, the reason why this is important is because you want to be able to pay your bills according to the smallest debt, and that's because, well, if you look at some of the research around why we don't focus on the larger interest rate payments first is because we are, creatures of habit, and if things are tending to, let's say, we're not progressing as fast as we would like them to, we kind of lose hope and forget as to why we're paying off this debt in the first place. So what we want to do is we want to be able to create some of those small victories by starting on the small debt first and then focusing on the bigger debt last, right? So in this example of the $500 first, what we want to do is we'll pay as much as we can on the $500 debt, and then everything else, it gets the minimum payment. So the $2,500 on the credit card, $7,000 on the car loan, and $10,000 on the student loan, we're paying only the minimum. So every time we got a paycheck, we would always put it on the smallest debt. So once that small debt payment is gone, that $50 now rolls into that next payment of $63, right? So that's now $63 plus an additional $50 into your second bill. And so that's what we call the debt snowball. So as you work your way through those smallest debts, you get to the bottom of that thing, and then now you look up, you don't have any debt. You have anything to say, follow with that?
I think when we I'll just talk about when we started it. And I think what we realized, maybe I'll speak for myself. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think that I saw how this was really going to work. Mm-hmm. And I think it took, I would say, gosh, maybe 3-4 months mm-hmm. for me to really start to see, okay, oh, this is working. And full transparency, I think both you and I were kind of like, okay, we'll try it. We'll figure it out. And I'm telling you, when we really got excited, I know I'm kind of jumping a little bit ahead. When we paid off his student loan is when we were both like, oh, now that was like, I think that was like the third or fourth bill that we paid off, mm-hmm. but it wasn't until then because it was one of the largest. Because
and that was the 10,000. Yeah, 10,000.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about when we paid off the 66,000.
Okay.
Yo, when we paid off 66,000, it was like, oh, this is working, right? And what happened is Slim, and I know I'm jumping ahead, babe, I apologize, but when Slim he was tracking the interest on the loan. Oh, yeah. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like when he was a little obsessive, but I ain't gonna lie.
And you have to be.
He was obsessed. He would go on that thing every single day. And if you look at your debt right now, if you have debt and you have something that, is accruing interest, credit cards, mm-hmm. car notes.
Yeah, just do the student loan, for example. Look at the student loan because that's 7% daily. 7%. That's calculating daily.
Right. And remember, your loan has an interest rate of, let's just say, 26%. They're not telling you that 26% is that's the, what am I trying to say, babe? Like that's what the loan amount in general has on it, mm-hmm. but on a daily,
it's not calculating the daily. Right. Yeah.
Daily,
that's the overall of the total debt that you have. Right.
And so when he started telling me, he was like, "No, look, come here, babe, look at this." He would go on there and let's just say the loan started at 66,000. Well, on Tuesday it was at 69,000, and then by Wednesday it was at 70,000. And we're like, wait, we just paid a payment of $1,000 on it, right? So what he started doing was he literally was paying. I want to say you started making payments on it like daily.
No, it was weekly.
Well, weekly?
Yeah,
weekly. But he was accumulating the interest that was coming up. So he was making 2 payments, remember? Because you were paying on the interest and the principal. Right. And so that's where I started to realize, oh, this does work. I don't think I really was, I didn't have an aha moment until then. Mm-hmm. So that would be my biggest takeaway is it takes time for you to start to realize that you are really paying down your debt.
Now, would that explain why you was fighting me so much on?
Well, probably.
So talk to people a little bit about why do you think it took so long for you to buy into the concept? Because I get like the small debts. Now I think we whiffed and the 500 was gone. Like that was pretty much gone. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, we got 500 out of the way. But by the time we got to the 10,000 student loan, it was like I remember you saying to me, "Oh, well, you want to keep going?" Yeah. So I can tell the fatigue was starting to set in. So and then that's where the head of the household, should step in and kind of keep the wife encouraged. You know what I mean? And then maybe it's a role reversal in your household. Maybe she's me in your household and I'm the wife playing the wife role. You know what I mean? So talk to the people a little bit about why you think it took you so long to really buy into the concept. Like what was going on?
So I'm gonna answer that question, but I'm gonna go around about it a little bit because we talked about in the beginning when we opened up, we talked about the goals and why we're doing this. And one of the fourth goal that I mentioned was planting seeds of financial behavioral change. So y'all, it took me a long time to change my behavior. It took me a long time to change my mindset. And that's what behavioral change really is talking about, is really being able to change how you think and how you look at something. Mm-hmm. Because of anything that you do, this has to change first before the external starts to change. And I wasn't willing to do that because I got so comfortable. In my mind, as I mentioned probably in episode 1, or maybe it was, with my mom, just talking about if I get up and go to work every day, then I can go and pay for what I need and what I wanted, and not really wanting to change that thought, right? And so I literally had to take a step back because we were arguing and fighting like cats and dogs because I wanted to go buy something from Amazon. Like, it was the stupidest thing ever. Like, when I look back now, at the time it wasn't stupid bad, but it's stupid because I wanted to buy something from Amazon, or because I was used to, I like sushi. So every Friday or whatever, I would go to happy hour and get sushi. And he was looking at me like, you can't spend that $60. And here I go. Oh, well, it's only $60. And he was like, but that $60 can be that interest that accrues in that week, right? I'm giving that example, not saying that was the exact example, but what I'm saying is that it took me a while to figure those small nuances of how what I was doing really was affecting the overall goal. Right. And so I'm proud of myself because now $60, I don't want to spend $60 right now, right? I don't want to do that because I know we have an overall goal, and this is going to help to get us to that goal. Not even just faster, but getting us to the goal, period. So my behavior had to change. My mindset had to change. I had to literally look at things from a more, the overall perspective versus the day-to-day perspective. And it took me some time. I have to be honest, like I said in the beginning, a lot of where we hit our bumps and hard places was because I was not willing to change.
Oh,
so
cool. Let me pop that collar real quick.
You go pop people.
Girl, let me pop that collar.
Whatever.
Talk to the wives out there, or the girlfriends. Sure, they need to hear that. Okay. All right, well, no, that's good. I mean, and then too, I think for me, it had a lot to do with, how do I keep her engaged? How do I keep her motivated? Because, again, it is hard. Like, we're talking about giving up a lifestyle and being aggressive and attacking this debt. So, and we knew by the end of the 2019, we wanted to be in a certain place. And so we're not going to give you guys those numbers just yet, but I think the first 3 years, what we did was we calculated 2018, 2019, 2020 of how much we had actually paid off in December going into the following year. So we're not going to cover that now, but we just kind of want to give you guys a realistic example of some of the things that we have gone through on this journey. And difference between male, female when it comes to saving or spending money.
He even had to encourage me, y'all. Like we would when we started this, at the end of each year, we would actually post kind of what we paid off for that year. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I felt like it was so, like, you invading my privacy now. Like, people know kind of what we got going on. And that's something we could talk about a little later too. But I think growing up in the Black community, like, you don't talk about how much you make, right? You definitely don't share how much you paid off. That means you was in that much debt. Like, what they doing over there, right? So, that was tough, right? Because you're gonna get some backlash. You're gonna get some feedback, right?
And you know what though? But it's kind of shameful though if you think about it. And I know how we were living. I mean, and think about you guys how you live now. Like, we are driving around in Mercedes. Like, name all the high-end cars. We got the big house. We got the furniture. We were traveling a lot during that time.
Oh, yeah.
We stayed on the airplane.
Yep.
And we actually sat down and wrote out a budget, and we looked at what we were spending in each of these categories. It was sickening. It was like, we need our behinds whipped. Seriously. We out here flossing, looking good, but drowning in debt. Don't know which way is up. And so we had to make a conscious decision like, look, and for me, I'm anal when it comes to numbers. In our account, like, I know what we bring in every month. Let that account go below $500. Oh, we fussing. Because it makes no sense. We make up too much money to be talking about, I got $312 left in this account.
But why did it have to be my fault?
Because it was Amazon packages. She just said she was shopping at Amazon. Like, I'm talking about screaming. Let somebody else knock on this door again and a package hit the ground. Let that happen one more time. I could just throw something, I promise you. It was bad. We can laugh at this now, but it was bad. Like, and so we really had to really examine, why are we spending so much? Like, who are we trying to impress? COVID, for example, the stores were shut down. Yeah. I know people to this day that talk about how much debt they racked up during COVID. Stores is closed, but you're still shopping. Where are you going? It's COVID. Everything is shut down.
Yeah. COVID for us, though, was actually probably the best thing that happened to us. Yeah. Because we had to sit in the house and look at each other. And, like, now we got real serious. I know I'm jumping ahead and I apologize, but COVID was, and that was 2020?
It was 2020.
Right.
Yep. And
by that time, we were so disciplined. Remember, we started in 2018, 2019, and so by 2020, we were in it because COVID forced us to be in it, right? And so at that point, we were so used to, and I know we didn't really go into a lot of kind of how our lifestyle was, but I mean, when I tell you, we would go to the grocery store every Friday, go grocery shopping. There was no eating out. We would cook food throughout the week. I would meal prep. Then, if we did eat out, whatever cash we had in our pocket, that's how we ate out, And so there was no additional or frivolous spending. Right. I used to love getting my hair done. Yeah, well, you see, I cut my hair off now, so that stopped. The nails, the eyelashes, all that stuff, and so that was gone. Like I couldn't even partake in any of that because that wasn't in the budget. Like that, not that it wasn't in the budget. It was just we were trying to do something more. I think just faster, just trying to get through it faster.
And I think for me, it was more of okay. Like I know she likes to live a certain lifestyle. She gonna want a handbag. I get all that. I want you to have a handbag. But we should not be spending from January to March, frivolously. And then we look up at the end of the year and you still talking about a handbag. If you don't go somewhere and sit down, right? So my thing is, if we can stay focused from January to November, we can ball out in December. Now, I'm not saying we're going to take a few trips here and there or, have a time where we go a birthday party or we might take a quick trip to, I don't know, let's say Austin, anywhere, something quick that we know we can pay for out of pocket, right? That's not going to set us back. But my thing is, if we can stay locked in for at least the first quarter is a given. But when you start getting around the summer months, June, July, okay, let our hair down a little bit. We can splurge a little bit. But spending frivolously from March, I'm sorry, from the top of the year, January to say March, we couldn't do that anymore because it was we were drowning. We were literally drowning in debt. Seriously.
So I hope we were able to kind of give you a little bit more insight, give you a little bit more conversation around what we did in our journey. I know that Slim wants us to really go step by step. So where are we going next, Bay, or what we want to do next?
Well, what we're going to do is, so the plan is to have you guys follow us month to month. So now we're in January of 2019. So we're actually going to walk you through February, all the months through 2019, and we're going to kind of tally up how much we paid off, and we're going to, those debts that we gave you all, we're going to let you know every single month where we're at in those debts now. And I encourage you guys, thanks for reminding me, I want to kind of have them maybe put your top 3 debts in the chat. And so full transparency, don't be ashamed. I mean, we just laid ours out for you. We had a lot of debt. So think about it right now. It's an assignment. Look at your first 3 debts, smallest to largest. Just put them in the chat and let us know where you're at in terms of paying those debts off. And so it doesn't matter if you've only paid $75 on each debt, that's fine. But we at least want to know first that you guys are engaged and you are willing to have these money conversations, because that's what this is about. So it's about understanding where you're at, in your current financial situation, how much debt you have, and what plan do I need to generate for your family, or for your individual selves, so you can get ahead come 25. So, okay? And so I want to leave you guys with a spiritual quote. So I'm thinking one of the episodes I highlighted that there was like over 2,000 Bible verses relating to money. So I read this to a friend of mine, and we both kind of took something different away from it. So I want you guys to kind of just hear the question, process, and just kind of put in the chat also what it means for you, because I know I got something different from it. Afi got something different from it, and our friends has a different take on it too. So this is actually from Luke chapter 14, verse 28. It says, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does sit down and count it the cost, whether he has enough to complete it?" I'm going to read it one more time. I know I kind of read that fast. "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it?" Now, for me, it means, why would I go out and buy this house if I have all this debt and all these things over me? Can I afford to pay for it? Do I have enough income saved to go out and buy this house or to go out and buy that car, right? So that's what I took from it. So you have what you want to share?
So read it one more time for me.
Okay, so it says, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it?"
So what I took from that, and the reason why I wanted you to read it again is because my take on it was, go out, do an investment, no matter the cost of it, right? And Slim was like, "Well, you only focused on one of the counting the cost, right?" And so when he then told me his take on it, I was like, okay, but that's the thing about the Bible, y'all. Right. It's all about interpretation. And for us, I will be honest and tell you, like, Slim is the kind of man, he's like, risk, I get it, you have to take a risk, but he's going to take a calculated risk. So I think that's probably why that stood out to you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And
you're right.
my mindset is very how I interpreted it, right? I'm going to take the risk and figure it out later.
And fall right on your face. Fall on your face.
What?
That's what you're
Wait
saying.
a minute now.
So you're just gonna jump out there in the dark, and you.
That's what Luke said.
That's what. And on that note, guys, we are going to get out of here. Hey, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Please tell all your family and friends about us. We are trying to grow this channel as much as we possibly can. Again, we're excited to have you guys here on board with us. To the next episode. See you next time.
See you next time. Thank
Peace.
you. Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up, good people? It's your boy Slim from Let's Be Frank Podcast. Hey, don't forget to, where is it? Right here. Smash that subscribe button. Smash it, jam on it, roll on it, and tell all your friends about us. Peace.